It's Royce Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, Mr. Money Talk. Pat has migrated his way down to Fort Myers, so we'll talk some ball here before the end of the show today. But Pat, two Timberwolves. I think it's only the fifth time in team history in 35 years of Timberwolves basketball that we've had two Timberwolves in the All-Star game. Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns this year.
We had Wally and Kevin. That was probably the first, huh?
Actually, Gugliotta and Kevin was the first.
First, and then Wally and Kevin was the first. And have we ever had two when Kevin Garnett wasn't one of them?
Jimmy Butler and Cat, actually, in 2018. Yeah.
Oh, that was a wonderful
I'm guessing they flew
right
separately.
Yes, they might have flown. Had Jimmy made his move as of yet or not?
I don't know. That's a good question.
We won't get into that. Well, it was, I guess Cat's reputation around the league is better than might be here, because all the discussions I heard was that he was a definite, and I was not that certain he was a definite, but. Because, he gets beat up here and we get to see all his flaws, but nationally he's still, this tells me they could trade him if they want to, right?
It's
Yeah.
the coaches. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's not the fans, so.
It's the coaches. So, yeah, somebody might, I don't know. Can we get Ant to settle down here now and take, I was thinking that, he might get to have a sit down with the commissioner when he's home there and when he's at the All-Star game and have.
You would have appreciated this.
We really want you to be a wonderful asset for our league, Ant. So stop bitching about the officials. So anyway, go ahead.
And to that point, you would have appreciated this. So we had Jim Peterson on Flagrant Howls podcast yesterday, and I said, I'm not one to. I don't like being the officials are screwing us guy, but there have been a couple really questionable calls, and it feels like a thing. And I said, what do you make of it? And Jim said, well, here's what I would do. He goes, they are getting officiated poorly, but what I would try if I were Ant and Cat is stop complaining, because you're making it worse on yourselves. So just don't complain, and maybe they'll like you better as a human when they're lacing up their sneakers before the game. He says they're probably tying their shoes, the referees, before the game, thinking, I have to deal with Karl and Anthony tonight just yelling at me for like 2.5 hours.
And that was the Cat thing for years, but I think the Ant is kind of like recent, isn't it? All of a sudden he's decided he needs more calls and he's not getting them. And
he got 15 texts last year too.
Did he? Did he?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he picked up 15.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's pretty good by him. I just had to, swat away a fly here that was trying to get.
I was going to say, I wondered if you were just being very demonstrative about Ant.
No, I'm not being very demonstrative about Ant, but I just think it's counterproductive. And to me, I go back to that moment when they were going to lose to Charlotte. And Cat got hacked unmercifully, and that big, tall, gorky white guy just stood there and let him get hacked and didn't do anything about it and said, go ahead and lose to these mutts. I'm sick of you. I've been in the league for 6 years listening to you whine, and how do you like it, buddy? And he just kind of explained to him. So I just don't think it works in the NBA, because there's a lot of them who are vindictive. And to me, the stupidest thing I saw all year was McDaniels screaming at Tony Brothers on that no call that they had that game one, and then it gave them a chance to, was it Dallas being here a while back? Remember that? Tony Brothers comes into the arena hoping he could call some technicals on people. So you can't go after him, and you got to be smarter than that. But it's good for the they deserve to, with the way they played the first half this year, for sure.
Yeah. Now Rudy Gobert is making a lot of the snub lists, and defensively he's second in rebounds, he's fifth in blocks, he leads the NBA in defensive win shares. But the problem is, Rudy Gobert is the antithesis of everything the NBA All-Star game represents, right?
Yes.
Although he is second in dunks next to
Mhm.
Giannis, so
Mhm.
he could maybe
Yeah,
catch
but
some lobs.
they can't trust him not to block a shot.
Yeah, it's like
You know,
Rudy, we
they
don't need you clogging up the lane
No,
with
we
your
don't. We
defense
don't
here,
need you
okay?
actually playing defense. It's it's one of the things that has happened in American sports is All-Star games are not All-Star games anymore. This thing the NFL is doing, who cares who makes the Pro Bowl? You're not going to get to watch them anyway. I mean,
Wait,
what's
you're
the
not watching the
nonsense?
Pro Bowl games? You're not watching
No, no, I'm
the
not.
long
And now,
drive competition?
but I love the fact that people can complain about who made the team and who did.
They
Who
actually
cares?
replace guys too. This is
Yes,
my favorite. I thought we would stop with that, but now
yes,
if some guys like I got a hangnail, I can't go play golf, they name a substitute.
yes, yeah. That is it's incredible. And this NBA thing uh, is I was looking up the NHL All Star Game, Judd, in 1991. Now that was it was an 11-4 game, so it was a lot looser, but it was a big deal to get named, and you know they played. They went out and played, and now what are we doing? What are we playing?
Three
Three on
on three
three, right?
teams that
Three on three
aren't by
teams.
conference, they're by
That,
players are selecting them. They did last night.
and
It's ridiculous.
it seems that they're getting fewer players, right? They only get 11 for per, so you only got 22,
Right.
or did they always name just 22? So
I
anyway,
think it was always took 22, but it was two real teams, and now it's just. But I mean, hell, the game here, the night that the Gophers had the big brawl against Ohio State was the same night that the All Star game was
yes,
at the Met. That game was like 3-2, and Bobby Orr scored the winning goal or something. Like that was
yeah.
a really competitive game.
Yeah,
This is
that
yeah.
and well, the 11-4, the game in '91, they had the misfortune of the Iraq War breaking out 2 days before the game was played, and Gretzky, the first war, and Gretzky was with the Kings and suggested that they cancel the game, and they didn't. But in the third period, they broke from the NBC was doing that game, but in the third period, they broke from. The telecast for a Pentagon briefing. So it was tough competition.
I was
But
there. I was at that game at the
really,
stadium in Chicago. My only trip there, and that is where they began the whole applauding and screaming during the anthem in Chicago.
and
That
they
was the day it began.
yeah, it was famous
Terrible.
because nobody could hear Wayne Mesmer sing, right? Because the crowd
Yeah,
was just going crazy, and
it was electric. That was really cool.
it was yes. You remember who scored 4 goals?
I don't.
Vincent Damphus
Oh
from
yeah.
the high-flying Toronto Maple Leafs, which was the team that the North Stars beat out to get into the top 80% of the Snorers division and make the playoffs.
Snorris.
Snorers.
That's a good one.
You know, I was looking up all of Berman's stuff, and he didn't get. I can't find when the genesis of the Snorris division was. Did he start that sometime in the '80s? I suppose, but. Well, I mean, all you got to know about the NFL is they call themselves the Whales and the Campbell and the Norse and
yeah,
everything. What the
That
hell?
was great
Well,
names, Pat. Come on.
We made fun of legends and leaders in the Big Ten
Yes,
football
right,
conference.
yeah.
I mean, the NHL started this crap back in the day.
Yeah, it did. But when is the NBA waits till wait really late in the year because
It's
they wait for
yeah,
the Super Bowl stuff to get
It's
over,
the
right?
18th of February.
yeah. It's a
Wow.
couple weeks.
What are
Yeah,
they
so
going
it's
to
the
do
weekend after the Super Bowl.
What are they going to do when the NFL pushes the Super Bowl
Yeah.
back even further?
You're right.
They're
Well, the
going for the
NFL
whole
ultimately
month of
wants
February.
they want 18 games, right? Like they
Yes.
got their 17th game and they're going to keep pushing it. So you're
They
not
want the
wrong.
whole month of February. They want the whole month of February. So
Yeah.
that little 10 days when baseball had the spring training to themselves, they'll take care of that. So
Yeah,
It's
that's
actually
cute.
smart. What they really want is they want to go until the day before President's Day, because President's Day can be justified as a day off. So what
wow.
they want is they want to create their own Monday is off, so we don't play our game, and then people have to go to work, because that's a
When
big complaint now.
when is President's Day? I don't
It's on
know.
the 19th.
19th?
It's on
Okay.
it's on the 19th.
But that is not I mean, it's a federal holiday, but most people don't get off work, but they figure the country people will start
Yeah.
giving them off work.
Correct.
So, anyway,
Yeah.
all right. So,
So hey, all-star games. We're all very much in favor.
Just leave the
Edwards
baseball
and
one for the rest.
Edwards and Carl, I wonder how that relationship is. What do you think it's really
I
like?
think it's really good. They
Do you really?
they're you regularly see them on their Instagram pages, like riding in to practice together in the same car, just
Oh, really?
streaming live, and yeah, it is. I will say this as probably Karl-Anthony Towns' #1 critic. Maybe I can fight with Pat over that title. He
No,
has
I'm not.
adapted. He's
Yeah.
adapted, and they've asked him to make the most. Now people make too much out of that, right? They've asked him to sacrifice so much. I mean, it's basketball. Like at the end of the day,
Yeah.
he's out there launching threes a little bit more, and it's great. But
Hey,
he has
likes
adapted.
it. He likes it being out there on out on the court, not in there fighting. He's in there fighting 10, 12, 15 minutes a game, but not like 35 like he used to have to with Rudy. Rudy's been great for him. We never thought it would work this way, but Rudy, you go in there and get all the rebounds and block all the shots, and I'll take the extra rebounds and get some shots out here. It's great.
Cat also likes to be, and this works out perfectly, the ultimate martyr. Like this makes him. I changed positions. Like those quotes that I saw in the ESPN story, Phil. I sent you a note about where he's like, yeah, things don't go my way. It's diff. He loves that role. So I actually think he likes this because it's this. Well, I have sacrificed, which is fine if you're going to play well.
Yes.
I mean, as long as you play well. But he loves to be a martyr.
Oh, yeah, he's become a. I was just surprised at the reaction that Cat's got to be on the team. I didn't see many critics. It's not like when Joe Mauer went in the Hall of Fame and the critics came out and said he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
This is people. The response to me that I saw nationally and locally was, hey, he deserves it. So.
Yeah. Yep, and he's one of the only. It's like him and Kevin Durant are, I think, the only players shooting 50% from the field, at least 43% from three, and then at least 85% from free throw line. It's one of the most efficient seasons we've seen from pretty much anybody.
What makes him unusual for a 7-footer is you'd rather have him shoot a three than anybody on your team, and you'd rather have him shoot a free throw than anybody on your team, and that is not common. That's his great asset. He's a huge man who can shoot. And,
he is. Someone put the number out. They did a sort by players all time listed at 7 feet tall, and he does have the highest career 3-point percentage of any player listed at 7 feet tall. Dirk is like third at 38%, and Cat is over 40% now for his career.
Remember all those times we watched the Timberwolves during their 8 playoff seasons with Kevin as the big guy, and every time it was a 1-point game or a tie game or a 2-point game, we had to do the clear out for Kevin to try to get us into overtime or win the game. We do the clear out. Never did the clear out the rest of the game. He's our star. We have to do the clear out. Boing.
And it was always the least efficient. It was like a fadeaway from like 17 feet.
It drive me crazy. And then we had to do it with Jimmy for the brief time he was here. You got to clear it out for Jimmy. He makes like 1 out of 9.
Yeah. Clang.
Why does the NBA have that? You did it for Michael Jordan. Okay. He made the shots.
And by the way, Kobe, we did it for Kobe. Kobe statistically was terrible at it too. If you go and dig into the numbers.
I don't know why it is that it's, but I will say in the NBA's defense about Rudy not making it or anybody, they got too many good players for a 12-player roster. It's just, and then all of a sudden they figure they got to sneak the guy in from Orlando, which costs a couple of, he's a
Banchero. Yeah.
Ranchero's a good player, but it's just impossible not to say Ranchero, isn't it? Because you think of that old,
Banchero. Yeah,
when you think
Banchero.
of that old, who made the Ranchero, Judd, the car, the thing that it was like the first car with a truck in the back of it.
Like a bed
Yeah,
in the back?
yeah. Well, yeah, it had a bed in the
Let me
back, but it
Google
would look
this.
like a car.
I
The
thought you were talking about
Ranchero.
like ranch sauce for chips.
Oh, the Ranchero.
The rancheros. Pass me that ranchero.
Hidden Valley, the innovators of
Yes, look it
America.
up. The
Yeah.
Ranchero.
Give me that ranchero.
Hold on,
I
the
need some
Ranchero.
chips.
Oh yeah. It's and it came. It would either come in like the red, sort of like the fire red paint, or it came with the wood panel sides too.
Was that Ford, or was it Ford, or
It
who did it?
was Ford Ranchero,
Ranchero, yes.
1957 to
Yes.
1979 was the
Yeah.
history.
You were a
Wow.
cool dude if you had a Ranchero, man. It was something back then.
Oh man, yeah, they had the full sized for the first 3 years. Then they made a compact version in the 60s, and they came out with a mid sized in the 70s too.
I guess you got to be my age to remember the Ranchero. So
Cars had more. I would say cars and batting stances are the two things that we've. There's no personality anymore in batting stances. Every car pretty much looks the same.
I rented of course, a Buick, but with a high technology on it down here.
Mm-hmm.
I need instructions. There's some stuff going on here, including how do I turn it off?
That's like when Sid got his first keyless car,
Yes.
and he had no idea, and so he would just leave. I think that the Vikings came out one day and said, "Sid, your car's been on for an hour and a half. You haven't turned it off yet."
It's the button.
Yeah,
Just push the button.
I used to make fun of Sid. Now I'm like, okay, what are we doing here now?
You're getting a little older.
I'm getting a little senile too. So
Hey, tell the audience though, if they are in the market for a car that you can easily turn on or off, where should they go?
And you will be well instructed before you leave Jim Paul or Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers. If you happen to be a senior citizen, ask the questions. That's my theory. And it's easy once you figure out what's going on. But the technology of the vehicles now is fantastic. And it's very advantageous if you know what the hell's going on. But, some of us took our rent-a-car and never asked a question, and then got out there and were, had to struggle a little bit. That won't happen to you if you buy a car at the Valley Group of GM dealers. Apple Valley or Hastings, they will make sure you're well prepared for all of the new technology you now find on vehicles.
The Valley Auto Group, they'll teach you what the hell's going on.
Yeah, that's right. They will. You'll never say, how do I turn it off? If you're getting your car from them, because they'll make sure you know that. So
yeah, wow. So real quick, did we learn anything? Did you get to the ballpark at all today?
I went by the ballpark. It looks spiffy. The trees, I thought the hurricane got the trees. I got to tell you, though, I did drive down Fort Myers Beach from the, we went in the Bonita side and went all the way down. Oof, it's rough up almost till you get downtown. It's rough out on the beach. And a lot of the places that look like they'd be inhabitable don't have cars in them either. But there's miles of destruction there. But there's a new place called Margaritaville down at the end, and it's an easy off to get on the bridge. This place is enormous. It's a resort in itself, and somebody told me that they had the girders up, but they hadn't started construction when the floods came. So the girders survived the floods, and then they built the place, and the place is unbelievably. But but the beach whale is gone.
God,
Everything.
did we lose the Lonnie Kai across
Lonnie
the?
Kai is still there, but
Of
it's
course it is.
undergoing
It's a
massive.
cockroach.
I was going to say, Delani Kai ain't dying for anyone.
But it's
It kills people.
undergoing. They are not ready for spring break, though. They're not. They're far from it. The Lonnie Kai is still under construction, and
It was always great when you'd go over to the Lonnie Kai and you'd see like an unsuspecting family with a couple children early March thinking that, we just booked a family trip to the beach and there's just all these idiot 21-year-old, 20-year-olds.
We got a good price. We got a good price here at the Lonnie Kai. Your children will never get over the trauma, however.
Pools, there would be pools of booze too, like just spilled. I mean, it was disgusting.
You would literally, you'd go to the bathroom, like the bar lobby bathroom area, and there would just be an inch and a half of standing liquid, and you didn't know is it alcohol, is it urine, is it ocean water? I don't know for sure.
How about a combination?
I think it'll be back, maybe better because they had to redo a lot of stuff. So it'll be back, but it looks like, beyond Margaritaville, there might be one or two other hotels open.
Yeah, it looks like a huge resort just on Google.
Oh God, it is. They call it a resort, and
Buffett type of.
And well, it's the Buffett company.
Yeah, he's dead.
And they and the only way you can park there. So if you want to stop and just get a drink, you gotta give them your ticket. You gotta valet the thing. So
really? Okay.
And they got like 4 or 5 valet guys flying around. Yeah, we stopped there because we had some time to kill yesterday, and I don't know. It's huge. It's enormous, and it's also there's not too many other options right now. So, but it is bad down there, and those ramshackle places, these wonderful old houses that the old beatniks from the 1960s still lived in over there smoking their dope. Those things are all gone.
Those are gone, man.
So, yeah, it's too bad. So.
Well, that's Patrick Royce reporting live from Twin Spring Training.
Yep.
We'll get some more early updates next week, and we're like 10 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting, or 8-9 days. So
yes, and it's and some of them. I contacted Louis. I think I'm going to try to talk to Louis Varland, but he's not going to be here till the end of next week. So that's kind of the first. I think Sunday they report, right, and he'll be here. He'll be here like Thursday or Friday. Most of them start coming in, but we're out in Paseo again, and half of the people here are Twins people when it starts happening here. So, all righty, gentlemen. This new technology is working fabulous. I think
it's great.
Knock on wood, Pat. Knock on wood. Don't say that.
And I think we've kind of found the cure here.
Don't get overconfident.
Don't get cocky. I don't want to get cocky on this show.
Don't get overconfident.
It beats that one time where I can't remember if it was Royce and Mackey or if it was Mackey and Judd, but we thought we dropped the internet connection, and we had like 3 engineers, and I can't remember if this was Fort Myers or if it was like a Seaver Field thing
at Fort Myers.
Was it? And then we realized that one of us just kicked the cord and unplugged the broadcast unit. Took us 45 minutes to check to see if it was still plugged in.
And you know who fixed it? Who found the fix?
Judd did.
This guy right here. Don't ever say I don't know my technology.
The worst was when they had Coles and I do the morning show right there at 5 in the morning. We'd come on at 6, so we get there at 5 in the morning. I had my spring illness that I get, and was virtually couldn't speak because my voice was bad. And Jay had a few cocktails the night before, and that was quite a tandem trying to even plug it in to get ready to go. It was not a handy group, to say the least.
And now look at us, just on a phone from thousands of miles away.
What a deal. All right, Judd.
All right, we'll see you next week,
See
Pat.
you Monday. Judd, we'll do this Monday, right? Now that I know it works.
Yeah, with this technology working so well, I wouldn't say anything that would, no.
All right.
All right, see you, Pat. Royce Unchained here on Score North.